morning, dear public. The DNA News has been preparing one of the most tragic news, and today the news report presented it. it. The news report is about a man died and the cause is uncertain. However, there are two researchers who have been working on this news to find out through. We go the news place. Come on!
Hi, good day. My name is David LaRose. I was the police officer in charge of Mr. Walter case.
Okay, can you tell me how did you hear about what happened?
At 5 p.m., one of my subordinates had spoken to me after Walter's parents called him to say his son had died. He had been died around 4 in the afternoon.
Okay, what did the crime scene show when arrived?
Well, Mr. Walter had been living in a middle-class apartment along with his cat for a long time. He was a lonely man. So when we arrived with my work team, the neighbors were not aware of what happened. That's why nobody tried to enter in the apartment to hear from him. Reason why the crime scene was intact. Upon entering, we didn't find a disturbing scene. The apartment had 2 rooms, but the body was in the living room on a sofa in front of a television on. And his cat had been running in the apartment searching food. Looking for clues about the cause of death, we found a can of unidentified food, a glass of Coke, a diary that contained notes about Italian mafia and cat food.
Okay, what information does the investigation yield?
There are several suspects at this time. Something important that I didn't mention was that Mr. Wahlberg had been called by his parents at the time of his death. 10 calls made by them recorded on Walter's phone. According to the clues, we suspect their parents or members of the Italian mafia, but it's difficult to make an official statement because we lack witnesses. Although we also consider the possibilities of poisoning or suicide, because in his diary he had been writing properties about cat food and addictions to it. We were also reading that he tried to change his eating habits by following a vegan diet, also eating cat food.
Okay, thanks for the info, David.
You're welcome, see you later.
Hi, I take care of the medical report. The victim's personal doctor had been seeing him for 5 years. The doctor had recommended a strict diet of vegetables and fruits, so he could be healthy for longer. 3 possible causes of Walter Wellhert's death had been found in the medical report. The first was a review of the victim's body, where they found the victim's stomach content showed the intake of an excessive amount of cat food. The second was an autopsy analysis where it showed that the victim had been suffering from an eating disorder and had been trying to change their habits and live a healthy lifestyle, but it had been very difficult and due a condition that they had taken into account, which was an addiction to cat food.
Hello, viewers. My name is Dana, and I will tell to you about the life and routines of Walter that have served as clues to get to the truth. First, he had been a person who had suffered from bullying in his school because of physical appearance, as expressed for expressed by his mother. From this moment, he had been present symptoms of depression. For example, he was always alone with his cat in the room. He had 8 kilos or food similar to this. He had stopped leaving home. He didn't bathe for the month and he cried every night. The mother tells Hals that for this reason I take it out of the house. Reason with the symptoms got worse. His best friend tells us that Walter had breakfast, lunch, and dinner cat food. The best friend told us that Walter, before leaving alone, had already been eating cat food, and Walter knew the consequence of this meal. This caused, caused him a silent death because he said so in the letter they found in his apartment.
After having made an exhaustive review of the reports, evidence found in Walter's case as a research group, we concluded that the cause of death was due to poisoning from eating cat food, which had generated symptoms such as vomiting, dizziness, stomachache, and fever. This consequence of which he had been suffering from depression because he had been suffering from an eating disorder. The reason we determined it wasn't a murder is that there is not enough evidence to blame Walter's parent or the Italian mafia, because with his parent Mr. Walwer had a good relation, and although he worked for the Chicago Post, his report on the mafia had not yet been published.